Hey guys, it's Danny. Now, in my last video, I shared everything you need to know about working with cranberries. So today I wanted to share some super simple, clean and delicious recipes starring fresh cranberries. I am going to be making a cleansing cranberry and kale smoothie, a bright, fresh cranberry vinaigrette, and a cranberry ginger relish. So I'm gonna start with the smoothie. This is a recipe that I got from simplegreensmoothies.com. If you guys have never heard of them, you need to check them out. It is an awesome resource for green smoothies. They have tons of information and lots of free recipes, and they also do a 30-day challenge for anybody who's trying to get more green smoothies into their life. So I'll leave a link down in the description box below if that's something that interests you. So into my blender goes 1 cup of filtered water, 1 cup of fresh cranberries. Now, if you didn't have fresh cranberries, you could also do frozen. 2 cups of kale, 2 whole oranges. I just peeled off the skin and then broke them up into sections, and 2 frozen bananas. Pop the lid on and let this blend till everything is broken down and it's nice and thick and creamy. And we are gonna have ourselves this beautiful smoothie that not only tastes delicious, but supports our health and our immunity as well. Next, I have a bright and fresh raspberry vinaigrette. So I've pulled out my food processor and I'm gonna start by adding a 1/4 cup of fresh cranberries. Then I'm just gonna pulse it a few times and break those down a bit. Once they look just like this, I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You could certainly do all one or the other, but I like the sweet and tart combo I get from the combination of the two. 2 tablespoons of chopped onion, 1 teaspoon of honey to round it out, a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and then a pinch of salt and a pinch of black pepper. Now, I just like to keep it easy by getting everything into the processor at one time, and then I pop the lid on and blend it up until it's incorporated. Now, you can make this ahead of time, pour it into an airtight container, pop on a lid and store it into the fridge for up to 2 weeks, or you can make this insanely delicious, super simple salad. Grab a big handful of baby arugula, top that with some raw walnuts and a sprinkle of feta cheese. FYI, if you don't do dairy, you could certainly sub in some avocado there. Then take that raspberry vinaigrette and drizzle it right over the top for a beautiful, simple, insanely awesome salad. And would you please give me a thumbs up if you're into simple salads? And for my third and final cranberry recipe of the day, I'm gonna be showing you a cranberry ginger relish. Now, basically all I'm gonna do is break up 3 cups of cranberry, 1 green apple, and an orange in my food processor. If you had a big food processor, you could do all of these at the same time, but since I am working with a smaller food processor, here is what I'm going to do. I gotta work in batches, so I'm gonna start with half the cranberries, pulse them up until I've got a nice fine chop, transfer that into my bowl, and then do it again with the other half of the cranberries. Next up is my green apple. Now, you could take the skin off of the apple, but I prefer to leave it on. A, because there's a ton of nutrients in the skin, and B, because it's beautiful. Now, the first thing I did with my orange was remove all of the zest. That's where all the oils are in the orange, and there's a lot of fresh orange flavor. Then I just trim off the bottom and the top of my orange, stand it up, and gently peel off the skin and as much of that white pith as I possibly can, because it's a little bit bitter, and so I like to avoid that. Pop that into my food processor, blend it up. And I'm just gonna finish this off by adding that orange zest, a big fat heaping tablespoon of fresh grated ginger, which gives this relish a nice kick, and a 1/4 cup of honey. Now, personally, I'm not into super sweet relish, so I just use that little bit of honey. But if you want it sweeter, just taste it and you can add a little more if you want it or need it. Gently stir this all together and you have yourself beautiful homemade cranberry ginger relish. Now, this is delicious piled onto a sandwich. You can stir it into some plain Greek creamy yogurt or try it on top of some fresh broiled salmon. All delicious options. And for those of you that want even more cranberry recipes, you can check out my homemade cranberry sauce and my pumpkin cranberry muffins as well. But now I want to hear from you. Which cranberry recipe do you think you're gonna try first and why? And when you do, be sure that you remember to snap a picture and then tag me on Facebook and on Instagram with the hashtag cleananddelicious and/or Danny Speaks, because I like to see the deliciousness that you are whipping up in your very own kitchens. Now remember, if you want to print these recipes, you can head on over to cleananddelicious.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Danny Spees, and I'll see you next time with some more clean and deliciousness. So into my blender goes 1 cup of filtered water, 1 cup of fresh cranberries. Now, if you didn't have fresh cranberries, you could also use frozen. What is all this stuff? But I'm seriously gonna... 1 whole orange that I've peeled and then just pulled apart into sections. And 2 oranges. It's 2